Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share some time, energy, some faith, some inspiration, and you know what? Some love. Love is what it is all about. I've spent my day again today just in thought, enraptured with the ideas of love. And I'm joining in very high spirits. I've had such a wonderful day today, and I just want to jump right in. But sincerely, all of you who have already stopped in, sincerely, my love and my gratitude are genuine and true. And I hope you feel the joy that I feel just because of you. What an amazing life this is. This human experience that we're all a part of, man, I used to, I didn't appreciate life as much as I used to. Fivespeed, welcome to you too, brother. Blessings, sincerely. Here, let me jump right in and we'll get to some ideas, the inspiration today. And look at that image on the thumbnail. That's my hometown, man. I live in such a beautiful part of the world. It's just gorgeous. That's the pavilion in the background and the waterfalls that go right through downtown. So the message, though, with it, let's be bearers of truth. As long as we continue to turn to the truth, we can't stay wrong for long. So let's be the bearers of truth for this time here in the world. What did I offer there? Truth has an undeniable power that each one of us can choose to align with or deny. But that power of the truth, it's an absolute. And the truth is there for us to align with or deny it. Once we come across it, of course. So what I offer is simplify your life through an alignment with the truth that you can know. Now you determine that. You and your life make the determination of what you can and cannot know, but don't believe in limits. Sincerely, please don't believe in limits anymore. You'll thank yourself later. Once you start settling into the realization that you are a limitless, infinite being of untapped, unrealized potential, it's better than thinking that you're something small and that nothing matters. I used to do that as well. Yes. Spokane, it is a cool community. There's something special. I'm not advertising the place, but maybe a little bit of maybe a little bragging. I don't know. I feel blessed to be where I am, to have lived where I have, to have traveled where I've been. This world we live in, it's pretty big, but at the same time, it's kind of small too. The topic today. I was watching the news earlier. I'm saddened and I'm dismayed by the corruption and the wars and just the way that the world is right now. It's kind of saddening. And the more I look at it, the more the truth is just so obvious and glaring. You know, when I watch the news and I see One of the reports was that 100% of the population in Gaza today is facing food scarcity. And that's happening by a combined effort. The United States government is funding it, supporting it, impeding the efforts to persuade a ceasefire so far. So the influence, and it's like the American government has become like a lapdog to that's not why I'm here today. What I see in the world today is the obvious symptoms and signs of the disease of selfishness. See, selfishness has been conditioned into modern man. Selfishness divides us. Selfishness creates wars. Selfishness allows laws so that people can profit off of the debts of others. This is a criminal enterprise. The United States, it's not just the United States, it's the entire world economic system. It's a global scheme that has been perpetrated on innocent and naive men and women. So, what do we do? What can one person do, said 7 billion people. What can I do? Alone, nothing. However, you align yourself with God, with the will of God, and you have the divine faith that has been offered to you as a child of God. Now, to be a child of God, you must see and know God in your life. And I'm not real strong on the scripture stuff, but the words, it's the meaning behind the words that you're really looking for. What does it mean? Well, the pure shall see God. Become pure in you, who you are. How do you become pure in who you are if you believe that you're a sinful beast? If you believe that you're corrupted and you're always going to be, if you believe that you're going to be separate from God, you will be. If you believe you're going to be separated from your neighbor, you will be. It's as simple as this. We live actually in an infinite realm of possibilities and potentials. Our God is so miraculous, so perfect. Our God is so incredible. And when I say God, what I'm referring to is the intelligence and the power behind the universal experience that you and I are sharing. We call it today. And we know it as time. And we experience the evidence of the Creator that I call God. Whether you want to call it Source, the universe, whatever name you resonate with, as long as you understand you're talking about the infinite, you're talking about that which is beyond the infinite expression of love that we get to experience as life and form. We're connected to the divine in so many ways. The divine is you until you corrupt yourself. So we're born into this world innocent and pure, and yet at the same time, we've got these ancestral memories and perhaps spiritual karma that we enter into this world with. So, in some aspect, it could be said that we do start off on the wrong foot, right? Just because that's how the world was. But I'm confident that all of us alive today, especially you tuning in with me in the here and now, what we are the children of God here to follow the way that was shown through the Christ, through many examples. We're here to follow love. Love is the way. The kingdom of heaven that was spoken about before Jesus and through Jesus, the kingdom of heaven, it's ours to know, to realize. The way to heaven is through love. Love of the truth. Love of the truth beyond anything else. And then when you love the truth beyond anything else, you'll realize, I'm sure you'll realize and come to the same conclusion as me and many others. We are here to serve this world. And you have the freedom to choose. What are you serving the world today? Memories and opinions? Or are you serving inspirations and wisdom? I know what I hope to offer. I know what I feel within me. I feel inspired. And I know I've been wrong many times in my past, which is why I feel pretty comfortable about being right today. Trial and error, so they say. And I've made a lot of errors along my way, but I've learned. And I bet whoever you are, if you look at yourself honestly, you've learned a lot too from the life you've lived. I mean, you've made it through whatever you've made it through, and you've achieved whatever you've achieved. You've lost whatever you've lost, but you're here. How amazing. How amazing is it to be alive and here in the present? Because if we know that we're alive and here in the present, well, that means there's unlimited possibilities for the future. What kind of future do you think about? What kind of future are you working towards? For those who don't know, if you're new to the channel, the future I envision for us all is a world of love, world of celebration where life in itself is celebrated. It's nurtured, it's appreciated, where life is grown. Healthy lives, not limiting lives of corruption and oppression. See, I envision a world in the near future, the very near future. I envision a world where wage slavery has ended, where wars are no longer profitable, let alone enabled. A world where wisdom is truly valued, where that's where our rewards go, and where people are fairly rewarded for their labor and for their talents. See, brothers and sisters, we've got in this world right now that we're all sharing, we all know. If you don't know, your head is clearly in the sand. But the world is being misled through greed and corruption. The shareholders and the CEOs, they've allowed themselves to be misled into what is important here in life. See, life isn't just about the checkbook. It's not just about doing better than the neighbors or keeping up with the Joneses. Life sure as hell isn't about stepping on each other's backs, taking advantage of people. And yet, that's the world we live in. But the selfishness can end. It can start ending with you. Now, the only way things can change is through, well, change is inevitable. Change is continuous. So it's up to us to figure out what type of change do we want? What direction do we want to grow in? I suggest we start looking at ways to grow together. Because together, if we work together in this world we've got right now, we've got the communication, we've got the logistics, we've got allegedly the oversight and the administrative structures between all these corporations and governments. We've got all the tools in place to really create heaven on earth, or at least closer to it. I mean, we could at least stop creating hell. Remember, there's wars going on right now while we're sharing our life and our wisdom. There's people truly praying for mercy, praying for answers, praying for someone to come and try and offer help. We can be the answer to each other's prayers, or we can keep enabling the nightmares that have been happening. The way to overcome the nightmares is to realize you're not alone, and nobody is. We become alone when we put up these defenses, when we create these walls and these borders. And we do it individually, we do it collectively. It's the way the world was formed. But if we can overcome our selfishness and realize how good it feels to give, how great it is to actually be able to have the ability and the option to be able to sacrifice a little bit of yourself or a little bit of your resources, your time, your energy, to be able to sacrifice a little bit of you so that someone else can truly be uplifted. That's a gift. It's a gift that I see so many people, and I've learned this lesson from my past, so I pay attention to it, especially within myself. I see so many people holding themselves back from being the hero, from being the savior in someone's life. And I'm not talking about just giving some change to someone on the street. I'm talking about connecting to someone. Maybe it's you who's searching for connection. When we seek, we can find. But the other part of that is this life, well, there's greater powers involved in everything that happens. I haven't been given much attention, and I don't know why I would. Oh, blasphemy. All right, I missed it. Hey, amen. Our life, this world, it shouldn't be so difficult to find healthy food. It shouldn't be. There should not be so much confusion about nutrition. There shouldn't be so much confusion about what's in the ingredients. There shouldn't be so much ignorance about what's in the ingredients. We could transform this world completely, sincerely, taking the idea of capitalism for the private enrichment of the individual, combine it with the ideas of social benefit And I don't want to title it or name it anything. We'll create better than has been. We could with the purpose of creating value, and we're doing it honestly, cooperatively, individuals with corporations and within the communities, using the current distribution systems and such, by voluntary nature, by people being willing to provide their talents and time, and then we offset the willingness and the personal investment using technology and mechanization to really improve efficiency. We know how to be efficient. What humanity hasn't realized yet, especially in America, is how to be generous. If we use our knowledge and our wisdom, conservation of energy and resources, that's what the production system is. America knows how to do that. But if we focus on efficiency and service and value, but we do so not with the focus on profits, but truly focused on bettering the world, we could have free markets. Like literally, you go in, and if you want something, need something, you take it. And education as well. If the teachers and professors, the custodians of the place, whatever it is, if they were all cared for, educating others is kind of fun sometimes, you know? So I see so much potential in this world we live in. But it truly is, it's up to each of us to first recognize the disease. Selfishness is a disease. We can cure ourselves, though. We cure ourselves of this selfish pattern of consuming, whether it's overeating or intoxicants or whatever it is that we're overdoing. It's a result of our selfishness. Ooh, one of the, see, praise God again. Praise God. Look for the perfection in the design, and you can see. I was just observing that I think maybe this is like a built-in mechanism within how our mind and our body will work. When we corrupt ourselves and we're dishonest, we make excuses. No, I can't be generous. No, I got to have this. Well, then the result within ourselves is separation. The result of separation is going to result in insecurities, and the insecurities become fears. And then the next thing you know, the victim is making excuses for being a perpetrator. I said a lot there. If you follow along, though, I'm confident it's accurate. The world we live in, I mean, it's been identified in many different ways, but brothers and sisters, it's up to each of us to help each other overcome our selfishness. You know, sometimes that comes in the way of being one to asking for help, asking for support, asking for what it is you need to solve a particular problem, to move you forward, not just to sustain you, not just for survival, but for growth. If we also encourage each other to do what is right, to be generous with what we have been blessed to receive, well, that'll change the world. Because the billionaire class got that way by enabling. They didn't do it alone. They had people helping them, whether they were employees paid to do a job or otherwise. they were enabled to grow to that level. So let's instead of focusing like on building these corporations and enterprises, let's focus on creating a better world and extending who we are, connecting ourselves. There we go. To overcome selfishness, recognize the connection between you and whoever or whatever it is. In your experience, to overcome selfishness, we recognize the connection. The best way to find connection is through appreciation. So if you can find gratitude and appreciation for the one, and in my mind, I'm picturing being approached on the street. There's lots of people homeless and asking for help. Tried helping several understand that their focus on money is what's keeping them looping in poverty. Brothers and sisters, this idea of selfishness, that's what capitalism is. Corporatism, whatever you want to call it. And I watched an interesting observation, patterns of history, that as the economy fails, tyranny tends to rise. So we're looking at the destruction of the past. And I believe we can get through this in healthy ways. I believe that we can get through the fall of the American economy and the collapse of the old ways. I think we can grow through this greater, and not just in selfish ways, but greater for the all. And when I mean the all, I'm talking about everyone on earth. I'm talking about Mother Nature, that humanity has the opportunity to all together. If we help each other do this, we can. We can all repent and change from our old ways. This is genuinely what I have been doing with myself. Finding the ways in my life where I was wrong so that I can have a clear conscience and so that I can change direction and realize, maybe I can right some wrongs from the past. And again, my praise sincerely, God, the one that allows our lives to be lived, the author of history, the true author of history, the one that allows the future or the present to be known and for the future to become revealed. God, I brought it up and then I got lost trying to describe it. Praise God, Talcott Express. The way my life has evolved and unfolded is incredible. Bryce Beer, click the link, please. Please, click the link. Let's have a conversation. Maybe you can inspire me. If I'm unable to inspire you to do better than me, maybe you can inspire me. I'm willing to be inspired. I'm willing to be encouraged and shown where I can improve. That's why we're here. I don't think that, Hey, this isn't who I was saying, but welcome. Whoops, wrong one. Welcome, brother. Hank, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well. I got your email. And Slavery is watching you because he thinks he's the center of the universe, apparently, and you're just his media slave. He just thinks well, Jack owes me content, so I'm going to get it. So I'm just letting a slavery know. I saw what you did with Flow State, Pussy Paul. It's not because I watched your whole show. I just know you use Jack for content all the time. You're just predictable.
He is predictable, isn't he?
Absolutely. And
It's
he thinks he's a center of the universe. He's arrogant. Just check the numbers. You just realize that he's not. And his people, his cult full weak sauce weaklings. I could take them all on by myself. Barely break a sweat. So
I believe it, brother. Well, it is interesting. I mean, Paul is such a hypocrite. He really is. And I see his heart. And that's why I offer him a lot of forgiveness. Well, plus, that's what I've been learning. Forgiveness is fun. So yeah. I guess Paul gives me plenty of opportunities to have fun finding forgiveness. So, damn.
Yeah, might as well forgive him because
excuse me.
We don't have to get poisoned because he's toxic.
Exactly. And that's what I realized. So the funny thing is I thought we had good conversations yesterday. I was on his stream. I was very supportive of him as he was trying to communicate with chaos. And I left. I thought things were okay. And then this morning I hear he's talking shit about me again.
Yeah.
So, oh, hey, it is.
Excellent.
Yeah, excellent. Welcome, Paulie.
Hey, Paul, is your mic working? It was working a minute ago. Paul!
This might be another one of those games where he sits here like he's important and actually... Paul, is there a reason I should want you here on this stream?
Well, he says he's the center of the universe. He's the best panelist ever, even though he's sitting here not saying anything at all because Caco's tongue. But that's the best panelist in the universe. He invented panels. He probably coached StreamYard by himself, right, Paul?
No, I'm the center of your universe.
No.
How is that possible? I've only met you 6 months ago. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're not the center of the universe, Paul, except yourself.
I only met you 6 months ago. I'm 32 years old. How are you the center of my universe? I don't work for you. You don't pay me. You actually owe Jack money.
No. Hey, actually, though, let's not. We don't need to attack, but Paul, sincerely, if you're here and present and willing, today's a new day. Are we able to have conversations without arguments? I am.
I am too.
I mean, recently you accused me of lacking awareness to the point that you couldn't allow us to have conversations. And that was kind of illogical. And Paul, there's an opportunity here. I don't know the right words to offer, though. Everyone is free to do what they want. Everyone's free to believe what they want.
I know the right words to offer him. We don't need your permission to run our panels.
He knows. He may know that. Whether he realizes it or not is another thing.
I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, we're running it. We didn't ask him. What's more there to go on?
Well, Hey, since Paul
And I've
isn't-
not tried to stop you. So thank you for once again stating the obvious in some false battle that you're waging against yourself.
Oh,
What are
okay.
you
Who's
talking
winning?
about?
I'm batting myself.
Paul, what are you doing? Sincerely. Are you here to support what I'm doing or to play some silly game that you're not going to explain?
I'm finding myself who's winning.
This is well.
What are
tell
you doing
what,
exactly?
What do you think I'm doing, Paul?
What you've done for the last 2 years / 5 years / decade.
Well,
Little to nothing.
Hey, Paul.
Blaming
How
other
long
people.
Hey,
needing
Paul.
to be seen and heard.
Hello.
Not paying your bills.
Hello.
Projecting onto others. Ignoring your dysfunction.
No one's making you watch the show, Paul. That I know
I didn't
of.
say anyone was making me. I'm fascinated with the retards over here and their lack of self-awareness.
Hey, Paul.
So is my audience.
Paul, you see what's within you.
Yeah.
You don't hear the words that you say?
I do. Are they true or not?
No. Well,
Yeah,
sometimes, but why
Sometimes.
Right. You don't seem to have a high regard for what is true. You have a high regard of what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference, Paul. Your discernment is not.
Do you tell your wife and child the same thing about their experience about you?
Hey, Paul. Again, I know you love going to the opinions of people you've never
It's a
actually
character
met.
assessment. It's a
No,
character
Paul.
assessment. How are you going to pay for your house that you're squatting in? There's your character assessment. You're so delusional. You think you can sit in a house owned by a bank, not get credit for it, not pay for it, not take a claim out with the court, and somehow you're going to be able to keep it. You're a delusional, broken child in your presentment and your assertion of the facts and resolution.
Hello. Hold on.
Answer the question how you plan on keeping your house like a grown adult, and we'll go with that as a character assessment.
Hey, Paul, you can chill out and share respect in this conversation.
Right. Asking you a question for a character assessment is disrespect.
Hey, Paul, I'll get back to the Hank, please. Hank, I'll answer your question. I wanted to clarify. You seem to have a misunderstanding of what's appropriate here. And
so truth is not appropriate. Your truth is.
Let's get to your question. So before I entertain your ego with the answer,
right?
Let's consider, number one, what jurisdiction are you, presiding over? You seem to be approaching me as though I'm under interrogation and I have something to prove to you.
Yeah, right. There we go. No accountability. I thought so. Okay. Just continue on.
You?
That's you.
You didn't even consider what did you hear me say?
Truth was the jurisdiction. Remember you just said how you had a high regard for the truth and I don't?
Okay.
So our jurisdiction here that we're conferring on together is truth. We're both making a ruling here today together.
All right. So let's get clarification so that we're receiving the same. All right. We don't need to continue this. Now, the question was back to my house, right? What is the relevance to this point?
I just said 4 times. It's a character assessment. If you're going to play court games.
Okay, so are we going to judge based on what? What are we? We're judging my character.
Reasonability, logic, morals, ethics, and contractual obligations. Like any other grown adult in any process.
Paul, back off.
I know this is hard for you. You were never raised from the broken childlike state.
For me.
You were never raised by your mommy and daddy, and apparently your coworkers, friends, and
time out, little boy. We can have these conversations, but Paul, you have no jurisdiction. Now, if you want to wonder and you want to actually gain in knowledge, gain in this truth that you claim to care about, you do so with respect. Thank you. Actually, I don't want to assume. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here in your codependence and neediness. I'm here.
No. Well, Paul,
you're being heard. We're listening to you. You're being seen. You have a voice. Daddy loves you. Now, can we get to the facts? Are we going to continue to obfuscate and deflect and appeal to emotion and false authority, the cornerstone of ego and cognitive dissonance?
What are you doing?
Asked you a question.
And then you threw a tantrum. So
not a tantrum. You're tantruming by deflecting and obfuscating. I'm having to refocus you like an adult with a special child. You were one of the children that needed someone next to them in class to focus them, to remind them of what their purpose is, where the value is. How do you plan on keeping the house that you took contractual obligations with the bank and haven't paid for, that they've asked you?
None of your business.
No, I'll answer it, but his false narrative is unhelpful.
The truth, like
Paul, back to the present, back to sharing respect for the present moment and for the truth.
Back to the
So Paul, there's more involved with this contract that you don't know about. You don't know the details that I know of. So your assumptions and your false narrative.
I didn't ask you about the
That's right.
How about this? But
what's that?
How about this, Paul? Jack will bill you for it. You'll pay for his house. How about that? Do you like that?
No. The thing is, there's more involved. My reasoning is sound, and I've done nothing to harm anyone. And as a matter of fact, I'm fully expecting a positive resolve, if not today, certainly by Wednesday.
Okay.
So you haven't asked the details because you've been so convicted.
How much of the bill have you given them what they're asking for in order to square the bill?
They're asking for nothing.
Okay. So you got a house that you didn't pay for and now they're asking for nothing?
I see that's false. I paid for this house for over 20 years. Now there was a third party that got involved with the contract between me and the bank a little over a year ago.
That means the mortgage is not paid off.
Get your facts straight.
That means the mortgage is not paid off.
Correct.
So I'll ask you again, because you can never answer when you're lying, a direct question. How much do you owe left on the mortgage? Right. Oh my God. Now we'll do the passive aggressive acting.
Hey, Paul.
The banker. When did this happen?
Right. This exactly. Apparently, according to Paul, my character evaluation is under scrutiny because that's his excuse for this nonsense interrogation. You know, Paul, here's something. I'm going to change this conversation.
Yeah, you guys can view it.
Hey, Paul,
I'm going to listen. Hey, you can go ahead and obfuscate and deflect and bullshit.
No, Paul,
maybe the audience, some retards in the audience will accept your nonsense.
How about this, Paul? What I want you to consider is the fact, regardless of your opinion on my relationship with this shelter, this property, this piece of property you're so fucking fixated on right now. If you can't see that what I've been offering you is actually my friendship, and you're so blind and so ungrateful, you can't find any value in a friendship with someone like me. So, Paul, I don't need you here. If you want to be here, you can show respect and appreciation for who I am as a man. Otherwise, go back to your clown show. What do you want to do, Paul? The lack of answers tells me a lack of willingness, Lack of willingness is a lack of cooperation. Not asking for much. See ya, buddy. Interesting. Interesting. I could have brought that up before I did that. Sorry, Hank.
Well, he got, you can see it now probably, so.
This is, this is life. This is real life. And, there's people that are experiencing real life problems today. And this fighting amongst each other, arguing and competing and blah, blah, blah all day doesn't accomplish shit. We all know it. So I think that's what Paul doesn't realize. He's the one he's not accomplishing much. He doesn't have goals to accomplish much. But he doesn't believe that I offer any value as a life coach when goals and self-development and health are the things that I study. How ignorant and short-sighted, confused can you be?
And let's grant him that. Maybe you don't have value as a life coach. You have value as a friend. So I value you still.
Thank you, Hank. I appreciate that.
But Pussy Paul says that doesn't count for some reason, which is why he doesn't keep his friends.
Well,
I mean, JG doesn't want to hang around him. There's a whole lot of people, a very long list of people who don't want to hang around him anymore, and the people still that kind of don't want to be on panel. So, oh well.
This is the thing, though, Hank. I understand. Paul thinks he knows me. He's a very confused man. I understand him. I used to be angry and confused. I've tried pointing out to him we've had very similar lives, very similar developments, yet they've been very, very different. What Paul is an example of a man who has been hurt in the past, and he hasn't overcome his hurt. And because he hasn't overcome his hurt, he still feels the world is against him. And if that's the case, then he's a victim of the circumstances and the world around him. Well, victims quickly become perpetrators because they use their fears and anger as an excuse to do all sorts of nonsense. God allows us to look like clowns when we're arrogant and prideful. Paul just hasn't realized it. He thinks he's making fun of me. I know the truth. Hey, amen. Rebecca Joe. Whether said in jest or truth, it is true to a degree. We all have our own levels of confusion. That's why we're here in the human form. Our spirit hasn't yet refined enough, perhaps. Or perhaps it has. And we're just here to play along with this time of God's creation. But here's what I realized, a trick. It's so obvious. Confusion. What is confusion? It's a result of a lack of clarity. A lack of clarity means an absence of the answers. So we can be confused in our lack of answer, or we can stay in wonder. We can stay curious, wondering, what is the answer? What is the truth? What is beyond me that I've not yet realized? Confusion can lead us to fear. It can lead us to anger. Many times, though, the two are connected together. Denial, our patterns of denial will create confusion, and our confusion will create patterns of denial. That's what I see.
Yeah, that's what I see too. And the thing is with their narrative, there's no way to win their narrative unless you're literally Paul himself. You're bad because you're not working. I'm stupid and a slave because I am working. You're bad because you're not paying the house. I'm bad because I am paying. So
right,
you can't do anything right unless you're just pussy Paul. That's the only way to be right in their narrative. So who cares about it? It's just the only people who pretend like Paul, just living vicariously through Paul, and that's none of us. It's just a couple of peanut gallery people in the chat that are too afraid to speak for themselves.
Hank, that's a very accurate observation, my friend. It is. Paul is, you know what? We are all examples in this life for each other to learn from. Paul is an example of many others, very ego-centered, very thinks the world revolves around him, that everything beyond him and his control is less than, right? Pride comes before the fall. And in this world of confusion, we can enable each other with the facts, with what is real, or we can enable each other with nonsense and confusion. And, well, Brother Paul, he and I are much the same. And like you said, Hank, he finds good in very few others. Me, I see the good I see the good in people that others do not. I mean, the interesting part of my experience is I've been damned if I do, damned if I don't. I had people get mad at me because I was kind to Paul, and then Paul returns my kindness with this arrogance and rudeness. And it's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. So I just want to see, I want the critics to show us how to do it right. We're stupid, we're lazy, or we're too eager, whatever it is. I want the critics to come up and demonstrate how to do it properly because we like to learn. I mean, just yesterday, Jack shared a video with me from The Alchemist. We're nerds, we're geeks, so we like to learn. So I challenge European gallery people to show us how to do it properly because we screwed up everything, and we can't use Paul because he screwed up with flow state. So I challenge the rest of you.
Hey, speaking of,
ta-da!
Perfectly timed. Welcome, Flo.
I actually I came in. I didn't even hear what he said about me. I just heard my name. So
I summoned you.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
My black magic.
Yeah, people make fun of your tarot cards, and I'm thinking that maybe there's something a little bit there. Why did you summon me to this seance, Hank?
Oh, because I saw you on Paul's show because it was about time for him to watch Jack Talcott to extend his show, and I saw you pretty much just giving him the business that he tries to give to everyone else, and he didn't like the medicine.
Mostly, I just wanted to invite him to the stream tonight. Is going to be a celebration of the life and activism of Paul Enslaved. He saved Denver, by the way, so I figured it's only fair that I dedicate tonight's celebration to him. Of course, everybody's invited, but I wanted to make sure that he was aware of it so that I could offer him a special invitation, and he can tell us, give us the story of when was the last time he got arrested, all the rights and all the activism that he's done, boots on the ground. I came in late to the game. I've only known him for almost 2 years now, and I haven't seen it. He must have been retired from his activism by this point. So since he's taking credit for having saved the people of Denver from the police department, I would like to get that story from him.
From the police department, I thought he saved Denver from Illuminatomi's super neuralizer.
No, nobody can save Denver from Illumitami.
Oh, okay. But Paul would say he could.
Holy cows, Flo. That sounds amazing. What time are you doing this?
I'm not sure. I was just setting it up right now.
Okay.
Probably not till 9 or 9:30 Central Time.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to make sure and catch that because
it just wouldn't be a party without Jack Talcott there, of course.
And the thought is hitting me too. Sounds like Paul's having a pretty interesting day today.
Why? What else happened besides him saving Denver?
Oh, I don't know. I was just wondering.
Okay.
You may not have
I didn't know
seen.
if I missed something. I was working today.
Yeah,
I
he
tried
came
to
on.
call
I was
into
trying to get you on
OTW.
the same time, just we can continue to interrogation.
I tried to call into OTW's when I was on lunch, but for whatever reason, my mic wasn't. My phone was not having it. So, anyways.
No, you just missed Paul.
I was probably making a thumbnail for him.
The spirit moves, the universe moves perfectly, man. You know, if we don't get too caught up and get all worked up and angry over what life is, it's pretty fun. I'm looking forward to later, man. That's perfect. Because, well, where Paul and I were at, and I tried pointing it out to him earlier. Yesterday, I joined his stream again, and I know that I was very supportive. I was very encouraging. He was navigating through some of the chaos on his panel, and I thought we were having fun and things went well. Then I did my stream last night, and then I find out this morning he's bad mouthing me again. I'm like, what in the hell, dude?
Oh, well, I can explain because I spent a lot of panels on Paul, even though I didn't bother to go back and put them on my playlist because it just didn't feel like it. So pretty much, the Paul game's supposed to break you down, but the thing is, since you were just not reacting to them, he's upset about them, which is why he doesn't even want me around him because it's just demonstrating that I can't be coated up just because of power games. Because I was done with that times 100 with the government school system. So what he has is nothing for me. So he doesn't want to show. He doesn't want anyone to show him that someone can just resist his influence.
Yeah,
even
if you're not susceptible to the blitz, then you're not really welcome there. I still can't get myself unblocked personally. I think it's weird that he comes to my channel or my streams, and then watches it after them are over and leaves comments, and I keep saying, "Hey, Paul, unblock me, and I can't get unblocked on his nor OTWs. And now I'm even throwing a celebration for him. Still, I'll be blocked again next time I checked.
This is awesome. I've been narrowly dancing that line, I guess. I just recently got blocked by him again the other day. It's been a while since I was blocked, but
you for somebody who's all peace and love, you are very difficult to manage.
Well, he works to take a logistical manager to rein him in. And I'm not the guy for that. I don't want to manage people at the moment.
Well, here's something I was considering because I've learned from all of you guys. I mean, particularly, I've learned about myself quite a bit through Paul and this experience online. But if Paul would actually listen, show respect to Hank and you, Flo,
anybody is the word you were looking for.
Anybody, it would be a great start. But he's got an incredible gift right here. Actually, it would just take anybody. Anybody who's honest with him.
No, just anybody. Like, the people who are being dishonest for him are doing it because he disrespects them. Right? And he's still disrespectful to him.
Yeah. It's a lack of gratitude.
I don't know what it is, but that's not my problem. That's for a therapist.
Right. Well,
no, not like a therapist can fix it.
I just hope
his
that
father was a therapist. So
whoever his therapist is, here's my name. That's all that I hope for.
His mommy's a therapist too. Flow State, Jennifer's a therapist too, so I don't think a therapist can do anything.
She teaches like foreign kids to speak.
Oh, okay. She's not in the business anymore. Okay.
She's got the education, but not the well, Mitch, you're welcome to come up and talk shit. I saw your comment about he's saying that about Paul's. Probably saying that about Paul's, not about mine.
Right now, so he's probably going to be kicked out pretty soon. I don't know. I wasn't listening, but no, I must have to be listening because Pussy Paul's the center of the universe. I forgot about that. I have to be listening and not pay attention to Panel Mom because he's the center of the universe. I forgot about that.
Well, he'll get what he wants tonight.
I freaking love this life. I really do. You guys, Flo, you too. You've been a little frustrating for me, but you guys are so much fun. Seriously.
I'm frustrating for everybody who knows me.
I'm sure you are.
You're only mildly frustrating for me. I'm very mildly. Just
well, Hank. I mean, I'm impressed. At all register on the frustration list, given that you are the scariest, most dangerous person on these YouTube streets.
Well, you shouldn't be surprised.
But I'm glad to hear that at least Jack is dedicated to joining, because I would like to get people up so that we could hear other people's stories as well of the times that they've seen Paul do activism and rights and shit and get arrested.
So 9 Central, 10 EST.
Let's see. I set it for 9. So I set it for 9, but if I move it back half an hour, don't be particularly surprised. But 9 Central is where I set it for right now.
Okay, that should be fine.
That's right. Today's Friday too.
Yep.
Friday night. I sincerely, I don't know what the future's going to bring, but beyond just tonight, I am so excited for what might happen. Because
there's people in Pussy Paul's chat that says they can't stand Hank. Well, beg your daddy to do something about me. Why am I still here if he has control over the whole internet?
He's probably worn out from saving Denver. It's a big city. Takes a lot of energy to.
He has plenty of energy on his body. Just look at it.
You're talking about all those stored calories for just this sort of emergency where the people of Denver are being threatened with like seatbelt tickets and expired tag.
Yes, absolutely.
The thing is, there's a missed opportunity. There's a lot of potential in his energy and what he's got to offer. But hey, it's one of our close and dear friends joining us. Welcome, Illumitami, best friend,
who is of course invited. Probably heard the announcement.
At the right time. Sounds like I can comment on the Paul saving Denver thing. Unfortunately, it was all in vain because a headline recently this week was Denver cops are no longer pulling people over for minor vehicle infractions. So,
didn't you hear him giving himself credit for that?
He didn't do shit for Denver, but make the cops more aggressive, I would think. But no,
how dare you take this from us?
No, I'm taking it from him. What did I miss when I'm not seeing what you're talking about?
No, I'm just being sarcastic. You didn't miss anything.
How dare you curse the Illumitami? You stop Pussy Paul's plans again.
I stopped. was gonna say I cut back. I quit the GD thing. You can't ask for much more right now. I'm going through some stuff. But Jack, I also came to say you might. What is this grand show that is going on later?
Flow.
It's a celebration of the life and activism of the man who saved Denver from his sitting on his ass in New Mexico.
Is he in New Mexico or Arizona?
New Mexico.
Well, oh, so the trailer was in Arizona, then he escaped down in New Mexico.
I don't know where the trailer was. I just know that he's not actually in Arizona. He's actually in New Mexico. But I'm not going to go into that. That's not important. The important part is that he was able to save Denver from across the country.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Without even standing up.
It's
so
incredible.
Today's stream, he claims to save Denver, or was it on this stream?
I know that he started it on OTWs, and then I assume that he moved it to his, but I was busy today. I didn't see it, and I did jump on there on Paul's just a few minutes ago. I promptly got kicked off like I normally do, and but I was there long enough to invite him to tonight's celebration.
I'm on a long string of never being there so that you can watch if I ever appear on that panel again. He's gonna say, you come here every day doing this and that. I'm like, I've been there for months.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what you do, he'll still make the claims.
Yep.
Right. The point is we need the community to realize this. And I think they are. I feel like it's come a long way. There's a lot of people over this level of bullshit. And anytime I've checked up on it, I'm never desiring any of his panel. The only panelist I'd like to have stop by my channel is Timmy, and that's because a lot of these guys have the balls to trash on my religion without ever bringing it to me. Like it's easy for them to sit in a group and all agree that they're right. If I show up, he'll say, "This is where you can have that talk," and I don't seem to get my part done.
Thank you for reminding me about Timmy.
I'm not talking about you, Flow State. I was talking about Paul that night.
Yeah, but thank you for reminding me about Timmy. I forgot. I heard Timmy saying some misinformation, economic misinformation earlier. Stuff I thought I'd already straightened out for him. The one time he tried to come on my channel. So I'll also be maybe have a little part celebrating Timmy's just complete incompetence.
Jack, can you unwrench Swim, please? I never make that request of any channel. Can you unwrench Swim when you get a chance? He comes.
I would second that sentiment. Not that I really have any pull here, but it wouldn't make me upset either.
It doesn't matter if it's Christos or not. They're both equally pieces of shit. So is your stream? Well, he came up as Swim whenever he told you on your stream called your daddy.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
But so is your stream tonight? Is it still going to be just as worthy post live?
I have no idea. It hasn't happened yet, so I can't really tell you about it.
I'll try and check it out. Maybe restream. I might push mine back to what time's your start?
I've got it set for 9 Central.
Am I Central? Is that Mountain Time?
Your Mountain Time. No, so it'd be 7 your time. Or no, I'm sorry, it'd be 8. It'd be 8 your time.
All right. Well, I'll check it out somehow. But yeah, Jack, you might want to check out some of the stuff I'm gonna cover tonight. I think you're getting off good. Like, I know it sucks to lose your house. I think it's probably the best thing to happen because what I'm seeing, man, people that own houses are going to be required to upgrade like $30K worth of stuff. Anybody planning to buy a house, the price is going to go up $30K, and all the stuff we've talked about coming to this country it's still coming. It's going to get worse before it gets worse.
The inflation train is going to keep rolling for a long time.
But also they're going to require some green technology to all old and new houses. And I don't know what's going to happen with me. It's funny that I used to say, hey, I feel Jack because there's a lot of reasons this building could get torn down for all I know. Well, now that my bank has locked me out of my credit union has locked me out of my money, I don't know what I'm going to do.
They locked you out?
I have a various credit cards. And because I have the one with my credit union, I said, that's the one I'll put off because that's my credit union. And missing that payment, they locked me out of my entire debit checking account.
Oh.
Yeah, it was part of the.
I in there to cover the payment.
I joined them 13 years ago and didn't know that was part of the contract until recently when I skipped that payment. Now I can't access my money.
For anybody who's listening and doesn't know what he's talking about, if you have a loan and a deposit account in the same institution and you miss a payment or your payment's behind, they can use what's called offset and take your assets to fund your liabilities.
Mitch Lovin, I hope you're not talking about me, Mitch, because I don't false e-beg. That would be you using 8 stock accounts to just show up and chat your Cash App. And RT, I've covered some of your bullshit you've been talking. I hope you caught your new video.
Tom.
Sorry, Jack, I got lost in the chat. They don't come to my channel because they're cowards.
Well,
also, you're kind of a blocker. Just saying.
Yeah.
No, just you and
block
Trell and a couple others. And then like what's his name? The crazy one. The freak. Like he learned. Just because I block you for a show doesn't mean you stay blocked.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
No, thank you, Jack.
I want to welcome Tarek too.
Hey, Jack, how are you? What's up?
Blessings to you.
What up?
Frank.
Hey, Terry.
What up? Are you here to stir the pot?
No, I heard you say something on Paul's about the reason why I think Denver did that because they were short like 167 cops or something like that. Is that what you said?
We'll save it for tonight. Don't get ahead of yourself. I gotta go in a second anyways, but there's a lot of variables, but I think at the end of the day, Paul says he did it. I have to agree with him. He freed the people of Denver. It's amazing. He's like Moses has returned. He might be the reincarnation of Moses.
But I can rebuttal your 167 cop on your show today.
Well,
so
you can try it later.
Yeah, I'll save it for your broadcast.
Thank you, Tarek.
Oh, you're welcome. For any time.
You're a fine person.
I'm learning from the calculated person. I'm trying to be calculated, man. Every day I learn.
That's good. If more people were more calculated, they'd make less like douchey missteps, and that would be better for them because they don't misstep, and better for us because we don't have to suffer their douchiness.
Yes, I'm trying to be more calculated. Not that I haven't been pretty calculated to start with.
No, but you should be, in on the fly, honest. You don't have to be always calculated. At times you should be calculated, yes, but not all the time.
Do you think that I'm always calculated, Tarek?
No. I don't think you're always calculated. No,
I didn't know if that was at me or not.
No. I don't think when you're doing your broadcast, I think you're intelligent enough to coordinate and speak your mind on subject as your brain does it. So yeah, no, I don't think you always calculate.
Being calculating and honest. Those two go together.
I don't know if he's all honest though. I would say that's the first day. I don't think he's all honest. Yeah.
And I respect your right to have that opinion.
That's one thing I've been. Oh, go ahead, Flo.
I was just gonna say I don't think that Tarek's all honest either. So that's
very true. I'm not always honest, but there's a reason why I'm not. I agree with you.
Because you're calculated. How the tables have turned.
Excuses. Their excuses keep us from being honest. We call them reasons. But
Jack, again to you and Paul, like I keep seeing this interaction with you both, right? Like you both know each other very well. You both know what ticks each other off. And like when it comes down to a certain question, which I think sometimes, it was personal, whatever, where he asked you today, but he asked you the question, right? Why dance around it? Either say, I don't want to, like for me, either reject the question or just answer. I think sometimes you both go around and just say things to make it longer, and again, you don't get it.
Well, what I was trying to do is get him to explain himself. That's what I've been trying to get Paul to do. Paul will learn when he actually looks at himself honestly. And he can see himself honestly if he listens to the opinions and what other people around him are saying. But yes, I could have handled it differently.
I want to jump in and say I disagree that listening to other people's opinions is how to figure out yourself.
Okay, fair enough. It's a source of information.
It's feedback, but if that's how you figure yourself out, you're never gonna figure yourself out.
Yes. I agree completely.
Yeah, I figured that it was sort of a miss, just wording more than.
Yes, thank you.
Here's the thing. Paul thinks he's helping us out, but the only way we can help ourselves is by doing everything he tells us to do. So to be enslaved, we have to become his slave. It's pretty simple.
In his rules. In his world.
It's very simple.
Hank, you're missing one thing. I don't think it's about slaves and undermen and all that, okay? I think we all agree that Paul thinks he's brighter than everybody on the panel. Now, some may agree, some may not. Like, I have my own opinion on Paul. I don't agree with him on everything, but I think he's very bright. Now, whether you agree or not, that will be based on what you just said, because I don't think he's about slavery or you under him. I think it's about him trying to tell you that he's just better than everybody and sees the vision and sees where you're going, and he's trying to help in some ways, I guess. But doesn't do it in the best method at times, of course.
Yeah, but he doesn't want me on his panel because I wouldn't be a slave. So that's just my opinion that falls from his actions.
So I'm sort of a sidebar, but I haven't seen Tarek around at least not on my panel for a while. Are you simping somewhere else? Who are you simping on lately?
No, I haven't.
Right here.
Flo, I've been. No, I'm telling you, I'm a framer. I frame. I do my own shit on my own. I have my own stuff. So I have to get up at 5 in the morning. That
answer actually makes sense to me.
Yeah, 4:30 in the morning. I have to get up. I have to be out of the house about 5:15, and I have to go to sleep about 9:30 or 8 because framing is not easy on the body, so you're always sore. So I have to make sure I'm good.
Interesting.
But I've been catching you stream a little bit. Yeah, don't think I haven't. I still look at it and see what's good and what's not.
Hey, I do believe that anything is possible, and I know that people can change. I really look forward to seeing how the reactions or responses might be to to the evidence that supports Paul freed Denver.
We'll cover the evidence.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and it'll be a learning experience for me, honestly, because I wasn't able to catch like all of the evidence that was explained, but so yeah, we'll all learn together, I suppose.
Beautiful. And Paul could become a miraculous transformation. It's very possible. I mean, he's got a mountain of pride he stands upon. And
I saw you just lick your lips ambitiously and greedily. And I could be the transformer. I see you, Jack.
I'd love to be a part of it, and I'd love to help support. But honestly, it's an example of many people. The world has a lot of confused people that are running around telling themselves they've solved the world's problems and the world is better off as long as they obey. Not others, they just obey what I say. That's not me, that's our friend Paul. And I think that's what you were talking about, Hank. He demands that you go below him. Yep.
Obedience. And that's the only way to be free is to serve him without question.
It's codependency seeking enablers. And that happens when you don't understand how to abide and cooperate. It's what the world.
But Jack, you don't think You don't think? I think like every panelist would do sometimes, or most of the times, if not for all times, that they would have people on there sometimes because they want content, and that's how they make the broadcast more entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Sure. But then
I think, yeah. Go ahead.
then there's others.
Here's a contradiction. He's using me for content because I'm entertaining, but he doesn't want me in his house because he knows he can't control me.
No, I think Hank, you have flip-flopped so many times, and he doesn't trust you anymore at all. I mean, I tell you that straight to your face. You're a big-time flip-flopper.
I haven't flip-flopped in anything,
Tarek,
but you don't comprehend.
for shame.
You don't comprehend my perspective.
For shame, Tarek.
Flip-flop.
Being honest with Hank,
You are in no
right?
position to call
And you don't
anybody a
wanna hear me
flip-flopper.
Right. Hold flow state. Yep, you keyed on it, Tarek.
You're like a fish.
Go ahead, ask me.
It's you found that because that's what you do. You
Okay.
flip-flop, brother.
So let me explain to you the flip-flopping from like when me got into it.
Do you have
and then-
to?
Yeah, no, I don't have that. I'm saying I'll kind of like
You can. I gotta jump off anyways. I'm going to pick up my daughter and we'll get something to eat. But yeah, I just wanted to do that at you. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Flo. Appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll catch. I'll probably tune in and see where that goes. I'm having a great day.
But in terms of the flip-flopping, Jack, I honestly don't flip-flop. Here's the thing. Even when I got into it with Paul over first the monograph thing, then the woman thing, right? Even till now, I still think like that aspect of him, I don't look at it as a high. But maybe he's doing it for content, okay? I have, believe me, examined all avenues. Now, even when I got argument with him, I always said I respected Paul when he talks about the truth, and I stand by him all the time when he talks about the truth, the law, and a lot of stuff that he really knows when he gets into that. That I always never said no. Now, going back to like you and him in terms of that, even with you, for example, I don't agree with everything you say for sure, but I still will not like let Margot or anybody try to step on you or disrespect you or try to like put you down and stuff. I won't let do it to anybody. So it's not mainly a flip flop for me. It's more of like being, truthful to myself and who I am as a person. I think it's not more of a flip flopping.
Yeah. So what you accuse me of flip flopping on is me refusing to engage in tribalist nonsense because I know how you tribalists are. You're gonna betray me any chance you get because I don't fit in good enough. So I just don't engage in it.
All right, Hank, we'll leave it at that. No biggie.
Here, actually, I think Hank has probably been one of the more consistent, more honest. He's saying what he's doing and he's doing what he's saying, at least from what I've seen. So I'm not sure. I know opinions change, and we should allow our opinions to change because every day we are all learning and growing about with ourselves and the world around us. Each of us is in the world around the other. I've seen what I've seen, and what I see in Paul, he's another version of me, as are you guys. We are all very similar, and we're more similar than we are different. But Tarek, I think it's kind of funny the way that reality, the bigger picture, has shown Paul and I. There's many similarities, there's many differences between us. And I think it's kind of, there's similarities to the Barabbas and Jesus. One's promoting division and war and separation, and the other is regularly suggesting peace and unity, love. You see the difference, Tarek?
I see the difference, but I don't agree with you to a certain extent, because I agree with you. You are more lovable in terms of you more calm and showing love and light and all that. But I don't see you standing where the truth sometimes has to be drawn. So
Where do
Jesus was
you
here for.
let's
God,
explore that, because if you want to discount me, let's be
I'm
clear
not
on what
discounting you.
well, you're saying that you didn't agree with what I offered between the distinctions between Paul and I. Are you saying that you still think he's, because he talks about what he's done,
No,
you
no, no.
think
It's not
he's
about that.
doing more?
I think he's doing more, but it's not about he's doing.
What
See,
do
it's
you
not
think
about
he's
who.
what do you think he's doing besides talking on YouTube
Okay, I agree
and
with you, Jack.
driving
I'm not
without a
saying he's
plate?
okay. I'm not saying he's doing more in terms of like who's doing more, you and him, in terms of talking or speaking about the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when it comes down to the truth, I would
Mm-hmm.
definitely have to give it to Paul, because
Why?
you like to be neutral.
Why?
That's just you. No, nothing against you. That's just you. You like to be neutral.
No,
And
Tarek.
that's your maybe. Go
I
ahead.
stand on the truth. I don't get into this bullshit divide and arguing over right and wrong. I care about the truth and only the truth.
And
So
Derek, do you forget to factor in all the clearly false statements he says about all the other panelists except him? I
yeah,
guess include himself. Did you
thank
factor
you.
that in?
Thank you.
I don't
Yes.
think you put that in your
What?
calculations.
Do you
I know. I'm
in
sorry. I didn't hear you clearly. What was that, Hank?
I'll just say it
I didn't
yeah,
hear
again.
you clearly.
You did. I don't believe you factored in all the false statements he makes about pretty much all the panelists, including himself. You didn't. I don't think you have that in your calculations. If you
right.
factor that in,
Tarek, yeah,
his factual content is pretty low.
yeah, Tarek, if you're going to, especially in this case, when you are comparing me and Paul, if you're going to place him as a superior source for truth, are you considering all of the false narratives that he spreads?
Including live
Um,
right now.
hold on. Okay, like when you say false narratives, what are we referring to? Give me like one example so I can like try to reference
That
that.
I'm retarded.
That's one.
He's
The false
joking. Come
narrative.
on. He calls me
Tarek,
retarded. He calls
okay,
everybody retarded.
Tarek, right. See, you're making excuses and you're keeping yourself confused. There's a
Okay,
right and a
so
wrong way to treat other people. Paul
okay.
doesn't treat people right.
And I'm not saying he does all the time. I even said it earlier. His method sometimes is that's when me and him don't agree on the language in terms of the woman
Okay,
sometimes and all that. Even though some do deserve it, I just
all
don't go
right.
about myself that way. Yeah.
So when he's talking about other human beings like me and Hank and any others, do you think he's accurate and honest?
I can't read his mind, but from my perception, like I don't know if he's doing sometimes content, no bit. Uh,
Well, who
that's
cares?
why it's hard to
Who cares if it's a bit non-bit? I asked you if you believe he is accurate and honest.
He's honest for the most time, not every time, because he does the bit non-bit, so he tries to play it off sometimes as an
Right,
entertainment.
right. He doesn't accept responsibility. See, a man accepts responsibility, do they not?
Yes, and when
Paul
you say
doesn't. He
responsibility,
writes it off as it's a bit, and then
Wait, Jack. Like I said before the chat, I'm gonna cover correct for you. And while I said I never make that request, I was just handling Mitch and got a timeout by Swim. So if you want to leave alleged Christos wrenched up, that's up to you, but it makes me have to come up here. Correct. We've been respectful with each other lately. Why are you still back? And do you not understand I've already covered that bit non bit is nothing more than a cop out? If it's something everybody likes, that's non-bit. He meant to do that. If he gets in trouble, oh, it's just a bit. Don't you get it? Remember
No,
when
I
he used to
understand that.
say, remember when he used to say, oh, if my voice does a thing, that means it's a bit. And you know that's bullshit too.
I totally agree with you that sometimes it could be a cop-out, bit, non-bit. So this way you never know if he's doing a bit, non-bit or not.
He's
I
already
agree with
cast you aside and made you a joke. Why are you still out here advocating for his sociopath
I'm
act?
not advocating for him, and I understand me and him had our differences. That's not what I'm saying. I said I stand by him when he talks about the truth, when he speaks, especially
Rarely.
about
That's
the law.
what I've said. I've backed him on the truth.
Hey,
it's
and
very
Tarek-
rarely I need to do that.
Tarek, you've stood with him when he has spouted clear lies as well. I've witnessed it. The memory in my mind was from a while ago. And I know you haven't been around recently, so take it for what it's
he
worth.
has been. And if
But-
he's really gonna
Standing-
back Snafu and Truther Cop, he's still oblivious to what's going on here.
And again, I back Snafu on most things. I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with his
Right.
method,
You
but-
don't know what you're saying when you say that. You sound ridiculous when you say that.
It's just my opinion, Tommy. That's what I feel. And that's
Well, we're
what I
not
go
into
by. I go by
opinions.
what-
We're into truth. I can separate. I'm over on my channel teaching everybody the difference between opinions, facts, truth, and how to define and find those things. It's actually what my
Okay,
channel is
so-
turning into.
So let me ask you a question, Tommy. Right? You remember when
Just
Margot was
ask.
going
Don't
hard
ask for
on-
permission.
Yeah,
Just ask me questions. Don't do that filler.
No, I am. No, I'm questioning. This is related to the truth. I want to hear your perspective. Remember when Margot and Flow State went crazy on Jack when he brought his son, right? When his situation, and Flow State took
Yeah,
that
I
and
was
said
the one that sarcastically, and I shouldn't have done that, but I did come up and correct it. I texted or I chatted in all caps, docs, just fucking around when he showed the Amazon thing. I knew it was nothing.
Yeah.
I was just joking, and I'm glad I triggered the Margot Flow State thing so I can make them look stupid for accusing Jack of that.
Okay, so my question is, yesterday when Grace was on Jack's show, did you see
That's
when
a
she said something about his ex-wife and also his son? Did you see that or no?
I didn't see it, but I quit watching because Grace and Mitchell were both irrelevant, so I stopped watching when it was down to those three.
What is the relevance to this?
I'm
today?
gonna
Wait,
tell
you
you what the
get into
relevance. No, I'm gonna tell you what the relevance is, Jack. Because like
Because
as
you're
soon
still
as like
saying that Grace got kicked by her dad, and that's a lie too, or you're wrong. You're either mistaken and standing on it, or you're lying. I was
No,
there. I was
I-
watching that live stream, Tarek. Why are you going around saying Grace was
what
assaulted
is
by her father?
he said he kicked her. He said himself he kicked her.
No, he didn't. I was there that
what?
night. You're full of shit.
What? So what?
Ben said. he
Well, yeah,
kicked
what are you
her.
getting
That's
at with what
I'm
Grace
saying.
said? What are you getting at with what Grace said?
Okay, so,
So
let
what?
me explain something to you. I know that's a different story. Let me not mix the two for 1 second.
Yeah,
What I
so
was
say what
saying
Grace
is-
said about his wife or whatever.
Yes. I'm gonna tell you the difference between what.
No,
Jack,
say it. Don't tell me you're going to tell me. Answer the question.
Tom, let
All
him
right, just-
speak it.
Sorry, that's how I do my channel. Sorry.
I
No
know.
problem. I'll let
please.
you know. What I was saying is, when yesterday she told Jack that your son is a loser, and I understand Jack's perspective said she meant good. She was just trying to whatever say to him to go
No, it
out with
takes
other
one to know
women.
one. Grace is a loser.
Yeah, I know, but as I
So
said to me, as
your
a man, as a father, I
Mhm.
myself would have never let her say that. I would have said
you're-
something right away.
Yes, you would be righteous and you just lay down the law. That's not allowed.
Hold on, Jack. What now? Are you saying as a father you would never let someone call your son a loser? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, my mom was more of a man as a Christian woman than you are as a Muslim man. Because I remember when my mom sent me off to school, day one, she said, Tommy, you never have to fight boys for anything they'd say about me because your mom doesn't care what your little boy classmates say about me. And you think you're as much a man as my mom is, Tarek, trying to fight old men on the internet, trying to buy me out with super chats. Didn't work, did it?
I wasn't trying to buy anybody with super. I was trying to make a point on the message. That's all. That's not what it was. But
right. Well, you're wrong a lot,
right.
and I'm back to encouraging the community to make fun of you because I don't see enough progress.
Okay, so if somebody, I'm saying like after what happened with Flow State and Margot attacking Jack, and we all jumped on that to make sure nobody
Hold
attacks
on.
him.
Are you still on the calling your son a loser thing, or have you not
Yeah,
dropped
yeah.
that
So
because you just
after
got
all
wrecked
that,
on it?
Let him keep
yeah,
going.
no,
Let him-
no, I'm not done. After all the stuff that we stood by Jack on that situation, she called his son a loser, and I thought that he just put it on deaf ears. I thought that was
So
to
how
me.
is
I
this
would
any
have.
different?
Sorry,
How is
you're
this any different than what you
hold
were?
on, Tom.
Hold on, Jack. I got you, baby. I got you.
All right, call
How
him
is
out
this
for
any
painting the
different?
realistic.
How? I'm like, Jack, do you want me to drop a bomb on Trek or not?
Please
How
do.
is this any
Go ahead.
different than what you told the freak about bitching about me blocking him?
There's a big difference. He's talking about
Really?
someone's child that he really.
Yeah, but you
there is a
told
big
him
difference.
not to worry about the blocking, and you're just talking about words. There wasn't even like an internet action over it.
Okay, no, we'll let it go. No big deal. We're not gonna get anywhere with this.
No,
I'm
we're
just
gonna let it
saying,
go. We're gonna
for
let
me,
you go. You're irrelevant. You're stupid. You're a son of your daddy,
Okay.
like this guy to my left.
That has nothing to do with it, dude.
Here's a
Nothing.
bit
I'm
non-bit
just
for you,
saying.
Derek.
Here, hold on. Is that the fool card?
Yes,
Funny
the
you told him that
part.
it's an oven
Here's
mitt.
a bit non-bit for you, Tarek.
Thank you, Frank.
Bring
Hank.
him
I
up,
appreciate it.
bro. Ah,
Hey, Swim,
know
you
what he's
look good
doing,
in
yeah.
white, and I don't mean that as an Aryan Nation kind of statement.
yeah. I saw Swim timed out Tommy, and I didn't see any I didn't look for the provocation, but
No, I wasn't even talking to him. I was talking to this dipshit here that lives in his car and talks shit and acts like he's not one of these
All
problems.
right. Hey, please welcome Mitchell as well as Fivespeed. I appreciate you guys joining.
This
today.
used to be considered disrespectful when
Greetings,
people
Jack.
show up.
Good to see you, Mitch, Hank, everyone down in chat.
Good to see you.
Yes. Blessings. Hey, Hank or Tarek, and actually not to continue. If Mitchell, if you've got anything, you usually bring in a different perspective and you usually pay attention. So if you're joining with something, please.
Yeah, well, I mean the hostility just departed, so I mean I'm happy to let the flow go where it naturally will. Yeah, but thanks for the space.
Very cool. Thank you. Hey, and El Perro, thank you. I'm doing the best I can with what I know is right. And there's a lot of people that just want to what? Want to condemn me for the situation and for my choices. Don't really want to hear the answers. But you know what? It's not unique for me. I bet every single one of you, whoever's even tuning in, I bet everyone has dealt with people not understanding, jumping to conclusions, right? Projecting their behavior onto us as though we're the cause of their problems. The world we were born into, it has corrupted mankind. It's been pointed at with many different names. The idea of Wedico, that one really stood out for me. The idea that selfishness can take over groups and tribes and communities. Selfishness corrupts us. And there's many psychologists and many people are raising the flags and saying, hello, it's time for the world to wake up, because the patterns that we're growing of unrest and even the signs of economic and stuff, similar patterns were seen before World War II. We don't need to continue those patterns, and we're not helpless in this life we're living. There's something greater than us that's involved, but we can become much greater than we have been. I mean, that old adage, what can I do alone? I'm just one person, said 7 billion people, right? I see the way for our future is to unite, overcoming the selfishness, overcoming the distrust. And that means maybe healing some wounds, mending some fences, so to say. I don't know. I do have faith and hope for the future, though. Why? Because I know me. And I know there's a lot of people like you. We don't have as many enemies in this world as we think. There's more people willing to be kind, especially if given a chance. But then that flips on us too. When given the chance, how often are we kind? How often are we willing to pause and really just connect to someone else? Other than, of course, you know, the close relationships. But I'm finding my way more and more every day. My focus each day is it's on love. In my mind, in my thoughts, in my heart. And I shared this earlier today. When I say the word God, it can be, that word can be replaced as love as well. And guess what? At our true nature, within each of us, what we truly are is an expression of love. So love and God are actually within us and within all others. Love and God are within life itself. It's everything and everywhere. All we have to do is find it, align with it, and grow it. How are you?
Jack, would you agree that Jesus, for example, or God, is about love, but also judgment day is just like, you know, judgment day is there for a reason, to judge, right? And only God can do that, correct?
Yes. And God, through love, we know the truth. And through the truth, what is real, we can know love. So judgment day will be when we are judged by the truth, by the absolute facts. What did we do with what we had? What did we do with each other? How did we live? How did we treat each other in the time that we are? And if you can consider this, God, Jesus, they are eternal. We are temporary. We don't have to wait until after the veil, you know, after we die to judge ourselves, compare ourselves to the truth. And see, our God is for the living. Our God is beyond the limits of time. So judgment day for each of us, it can happen within our will, our want at any time.
Okay. So would you say, based on God will judge the good and the bad for what everybody has done in their life separately, and only God can do that based on the truth, because he's the truth. Would you say that you believe in hell and heaven? I'm assuming, right, Jack? Because you are a Christian. I'm just asking you for a reason.
Yes, hell and heaven are potential experiences and destinations, perhaps.
Okay. So, for example, to get to my point, like say somebody like, I don't know, a leader that killed a lot of his people, and when God judges him, he's going to put him, for example, when God does, not me, puts him in hell. That's would you take that as love or as God punishing that person? And so this way you can see what he did, because there is a punishment if you believe in God and Jesus, or if you're a Muslim or a Jew. There is a punishment, and that's not love. That's punishment to let the person know what you did. And I believe in the scripture it says everybody at the end will go to heaven no matter what, but you have to go through that process. Correct or no?
Well, I believe life is a refinement process for us to refine our character in order to be, worthy of heaven. And hell, the judgment of God, well, through the story and characterization, the realization of Jesus, our God is merciful. And punishment is, that's the ways of the world, I believe. I believe it's an option and it's a part of correction. But this world we were born into, punishment and condemnation and judgment, that's the egoic ways. It's the ways of the beast. It's the ways of war. If we lived with love, right, the way of the Christ, if we followed the way of love, all of us did. Number one, we'd help each other, right? We'd be honest with each other and say, hey, you're kind of slipping in your standards, or you're not quite as accurate as you used to be. We would help each other stay moral and true and honest, and it would be easier.
All right. So, Jack, I know you said this is like more of a man beast where they do the punishment, but again, I'm referring to God. God does punish people and puts them in hell, correct or not?
According to man.
No, not according to man. That's according to your beliefs in the Bible, Quran, and in the Torah. God will punish you in hell.
Those are messages received and interpreted through men. Now,
yes,
is there an experience that can happen with the absence of God and filled with pain and suffering? Yes, it's happening to many people who are in the flesh right now. While they're still living, they are in hell. An absence of love, an absence of God. Those are what is hell. And really, in my mind, God is the everything, the all in all. There is no thing that I could ever possibly know that's outside of the realm of our God. So if God is all that there is, heaven would be the abundance of God and God's expression, which is love and bliss and all things pure and healthy. And then, so the opposite of that would be the absence of love and support and comfort and health, right? So hell would be a different experience. Either way,
okay.
Heaven or hell or life, it's an experience.
Okay, but I feel like you're still dancing around the question here again. I'm asking you again for the third time. Do you believe, based on people's beliefs, I guess if you want to word it that way, based on the Bible and all Christianity, that God will judge you, just like he said, he'll put you in hell where you'll be burned over and over until you learn, eventually you'll go to heaven? That's what it says in the Bible and in the Quran, correct?
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Okay, and then I got another question for you. Christians do believe it doesn't matter what, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I know about the Bible, not as much as like maybe Fivespeed or somebody else, but correct me if I'm wrong. You also do believe as a Christian that if you die and you don't take Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you will go to hell, correct?
That's what they say.
That's in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make
I don't know.
sense?
Does it say? I don't know that it says you go to hell, does it? Maybe it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody can be saved if you don't go through Jesus.
Like, for example, all the Jewish parts, well, they can't believe in Jesus because he wasn't even born yet. So in that case, it's important.
No, but it also says in the Bible, Hank, that at the end of times, everybody will hear of Jesus. Everybody in the whole world will hear it. And the ones that don't, I'm sure God will judge them different. I'm not God. But I'm saying, does that make sense from that perspective? That if you don't believe in Jesus and you're still, a reflection of God and a child of God, that you will go to hell if you have a different belief.
Well, how about this? What if you go beyond the name and look at what the symbols and the meaning, what is the meaning behind the story? What I take from the Bible and all of the interpretations, God is the truth. What Jesus showed was God's love. So love is the way to live. And if you don't know love, guess where you're going to end up? You're going to end up in hell, living a life of corruption and, self-sabotage. It's here.
No, I agree with you, Jack. Yeah, I agree with you. On this physical world, if you don't have love, you would probably be miserable. At the end, you'll suffer hell on this physical world, this earth. But there's also still hell in another realm based on the Christianity and other scriptures
Maybe,
like Muslims and Jews. So there's two different ones, not one
maybe,
only.
maybe. But so what is the relevance? I'm curious where you're going with this.
I know, first I was trying to understand if you even believe there, because you always talk about love, and I know a lot of people talk about love, which is very important. I'm with you on that. Love is super important. And you're always supposed to be merciful and forgive and all that.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And
but
that's
do you believe at all? Yeah. But do you believe at all that God has judgment on the people that mistreat other people or kill them or abuse them or rape them and all that? Do they go to hell in a different realm?
Does it matter?
It does matter, because if they don't go to hell, so let me explain to you. If not for me, I wouldn't care. I can't say I wouldn't care, because that will be for me saying like Hitler or Pharaoh. After he abused all his people, he'll still be in heaven. He won't be punished at all. And all the people that got punished through him will just have to take it as it is and be, in heaven as well. Would that be fair? Would God be fair putting like a Pharaoh, for example, that abused all his people, and he'll end up in heaven?
What if the
Does that make
answer
sense?
is yeah? And what if the answer is yes? God allows all creations into heaven. What if it does turn out that way? What does it matter? What does it matter?
It matters on the judgment. And
Why?
now we're talking about discernment of the
Why
truth.
does it matter? Why does it matter to you?
The reason why it matters to me, Jack, is because when you talk about the truth with anybody, forget now just you, anybody talks about the truth, and somebody's being hurt or murdered or killed or raped or whatever it's happening,
right?
And now there's no punishment at all, then there's no standard, there's no spectrum.
Sorry,
so now everybody can say,
wait, whoa, your mind is taking you're jumping to these conclusions that aren't even part of the conversation. So you're literally imagining disagreements, I think. Because I'm not suggesting.
I'm not imagining disagreeing. I'm not. For some reason, I find it lately when I speak to a lot of people that are either religious in any sector, Muslim, Christians, you name it.
All right.
When it comes down to the belief of the scripture, which they follow, when it comes down to hell and heaven, they avoid that question and they say, no, everything, stuff like that. That to me doesn't make sense. Maybe it does to you.
So what? Why doesn't it make sense to you? What is your problem with it? What is your doubt? What answer are you trying to find?
I'm not trying to find an answer. I'm trying to understand you a little more, because you say, for example, that I'll give you another example that is relative to this. Okay. You want to change, Congress and all that, right? These people are always slaving people and doing all kind of bad things, right? The system the beast system is.
So you say
that these are not my words; these are your words.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so if that's the case, go ahead.
No, I was I'm trying to follow on.
No, I'm saying if there's no like balance, if there's no truth in terms of what happens to other people doing evil or not, then why what's the point of doing good then anymore? If there's no evil or good, or what's the plan here?
You can't answer that yourself.
I can, but you're saying in the same time that either way, you don't believe that people will go to hell in another realm, right?
I didn't say that until you started this stupid interrogation, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not focused on hell. Why are you focused on hell?
I'm not focused on hell. I'm focused
Here
on the
in this
judgment
conversation, you are.
Yes, and let me tell you why.
Let the judge judge. You know, it's stop when
Smith,
you can
please say
come to
okay,
grasp with
Smith.
terms that you're not the authority of truth, then you'll find peace, man.
Mitchell, thank you, Tarek.
I'm not saying
Tarek, you're trying to find excuses for you running around judging everyone.
that is not the case at all.
It is.
I'm trying to understand when people like yourself and others are speaking about the truth and God and Christianity, where does this lie in terms of God being the merciful and the judgment and the most loving? It's all in there. You want to take the judgment out of the way and make it all loving. It doesn't work that way.
That's a false narrative. Hello.
Yeah, that's a false narrative.
Yeah.
And even
None
if
of us really know.
Even if it wasn't, you're not the judge. So I don't care.
I never said I was the judge, fucking Frank.
Look at your behavior. Tarek, look at your past behavior. You're constantly making sure your opinion goes out because you're fucking judging everybody.
Now you're the one yelling and swearing when we're
hold on, because
talking
Frank
about God.
keeps saying
You're right,
all right,
Mitchell.
because Han keeps saying stupid shit. I apologize. I'll retreat my voice back because he's saying stuff that doesn't make sense again. I'll go back and calm down. I'm not judging anybody because only God judges. I said it many times. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand this fucking fake Christianity and fake Muslims and fake whatever when they all do bad and they all talk about love and there's no punishment on the different realm. It doesn't make sense.
Tarek,
caught him. He's mad. I caught him.
Yeah.
I don't understand your confusion, but how about this? I believe true faith in God allows us to let God do the judgment and the punishment. What we can do is follow the way of love, which offers forth correction, intervention, perhaps. I mean, love includes justice. And we live in a world where justice is gone, love is gone, righteousness is gone. People want to spend their time arguing and complaining instead of actually, I don't know, praying, meditating, taking actions.
I'll yield, Jag. I get it. I'll let Smith talk. He's been quiet.
Actually, thank blessings and thank you. Fivespeed's been here a while too. Welcome.
That's okay, Jack. I'm just up here to hang out and support and go with the flow, and hopefully be able to come in at some point and throw my 2 cents in there. But as I said, I'm here to go with the flow of what you got here.
Appreciate it.
So what's your perspective, though, Fivespeed? You're a Christian, right?
Well, I think we had this discussion the other day. I don't identify myself with no titles or anything, but I will tell you I am a faith-based man. So,
But you want to keep labeling these people, Tarek, and that seems to be the pretense for the conflict. It's like now if you can label them as something, then it gives you something to fight about.
It's almost like everybody's got to get in line with one or the other, and that's kind of crazy to me.
Hear that labeling? That's actually, thank you, Mitchell. That's what we've been taught to do, but that's what our ego does. The ego mind, it wants to label and define. It's our insecurities. I mean, it's good to know the definitions, and it's good to have have proper identifications so that we can understand. But often what we've been conditioned in this world to do is to focus on the identification, and we pay so much attention to the what we see or what we think we see, but the why is where it's at. And there's a why behind all of us gathering here again today, and I trust in that why. It's bringing us forth into the future. And what we do today, I'm feeling good today, sincerely. I appreciate all of you guys. I think we've had some real decent conversations today.
And just for Mitch and Fivespeed, I wasn't judging or saying that you're a Christian. I am a Muslim, and I still say till now, Muslim is a non-Muslim, Christians are non-Christian, Jews are non-Jew. I don't even label myself as a Muslim. All right, I'm a child of God, and that's it. If somebody asks me, yeah, whatever, I don't follow all the Muslim stuff anyway. But I was just asking him because I thought he was. If he wasn't, I take it back. I apologize, Fivespeed. I didn't mean to say that. I'm just trying to see your perspective on Christ. Yeah, I'm trying to see your perspective on Christ, heaven, and all that. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I respect that, Tarek. And hey, listen, you ain't gotta impede me no way, none whatsoever. You know, everybody's got their own little journey out here, and hey, I think we bring to the table at certain points and certain times, and I think that's where that whole currency comes in, and all of this stuff flowing through us, and we can start to resonate with one another and start bringing all of those ideals from that journey, and we all come together and realize, hey, it's all fucked up.
And yet there's also a perfect order to everything that's happened. And Tarek, I appreciate how you are. You know, you are willing to humble yourself and so to say, present yourself correctly, right? If you catch yourself out of line, you're a great example. The idea of the hell thing, I was genuinely trying to understand what it was that you were trying to know more clearly. And I wonder, in my own mind, I couldn't reason within myself. How could it be? How could it be that people can live in this life and not receive a hell, right? How can there be justice if there's not punishment? I know that this realm we live in, it's automatically built with cause and effect. And we're limited in our perception of time. In every logical prediction we make, we're limited in our aspect of time. We don't know the future, so that's the biggest variable.
I agree.
We often forget.
I agree, Jack. I'm going to jump off here real quick. I just want to say, you're talking about the future. Future, like I changed my screen name. Chur means to carry on. Carry on like you're going on a flight, like it's a departure. Few will carry on. Few is Gonzaga's coach. His name is Mark Few. They will need to mark Few in the future. There's going to be a mark that's going to be coming, and it'll be very few that will get marked because America first must be destroyed before they enslave the rest of the world. God bless y'all.
Smith, before you go, dude, I don't know what your weekend's like. This is the Lilac Festival and all this stuff going on.
The Lilac City.
Yeah.
It was a lie to lock us down, and lilacs are from the syringa family, and that's where the word syringe comes from. That's why it's the birthplace of Father's Day, because take it and you can meet your father. I got a busy weekend, man. I'm trying to be a better dad than I have been the last year. I've been drinking less. I've been drinking today.
Good.
I take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and I try to be better. I just want to say, Jack, I'm not trying to talk over you. I loved your streams when you talked about that stuff. I love everything. I like what you do. You got good positive energy. When you talk about the addiction stuff,
It's awesome. I'm not knocking your other stuff you do. It really resonates with me. It comes from a place of experience with you, and I respect and I really like that stuff you do, Jack. I'm going to dip out. I'm going to try to make myself a better person, and I'm going to try to not backslide so much. But this is where, no shade to Tommy, I wanted to tell him the other day, I like how he said that. That's part of being a Christian. I'm not perfect, and I never will be. I never will be. I'll try to, and I'll never attain it. So God bless y'all.
Keep it up, Smith.
Take care.
I encourage you, to any who agree with that belief about themselves, challenge that. Because what you're saying is, I know that God cannot perfect me. Why would we want to believe in that? Well, I believe there's been misinterpretations of the Bible and what the meanings are that have been purposefully taught. And we create the reality we believe. If we believe we're going to be completely imperfect, we can never achieve perfection, we never will. And we'll never experience even the feeling of it, because our mind will block us. And just as if we believe that there's a God who created us, who's just waiting for us to die so that we could be judged and either rewarded or condemned, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, the purpose of life is growth, and we are here to grow and develop in spirit, in consciousness, in the knowing of our connection. There's a connection between us and God. There's a connection between us and each other. And all of that is connected to all of the past, all of the future. See, and I think even some of the interpretations, if you take the words of the Bible and you kind of play with the words a little bit loosely, following the way of Christ, those who follow me shall sin no more, right? And Jesus offered, go forth, sin no more. So to sin no more is possible. And if you have no sin, how are you not perfect? God creates perfection. It's man's judgment, man's perception that we find and grow the flaws. It's a perfect story God's created. It's the battle between the light and the dark, the truth and the illusion. Which one's going to which one will win? It's always going to be the light, and it's always going to be that which is real. So let's align with that which is real. And that which is real is what is true. And what is true is love. Behind all the names and the labels, there is the power of love that moves us all. Now, when the power of love is not clearly understood, it becomes a fear. And then the fear moves us. We're either running from our fears or chasing our love. I'd rather focus on the love. Hey, there you go. That which is real is the present. It's right now, and it's always happening all through our life. The present is the gift that we get to know or ignore. We can appreciate it. We can resent it. I know that appreciation and gratitude feel good, though. Hey, this I agree with too. It's all positive. It's all energy and love. And it can only go negative through the perversion of the positive. And that's each of us. We are all positive until we pervert ourselves from the positive and we embrace the negative. the corruption. I don't know. Thoughts, panel?
Well, that corruption is all over the place. It's everywhere. It's like evil. I mean, it's everywhere you turn and everything, you know.
It's a result of selfishness. That was kind of the topic of the stream today, the idea of overcoming the disease of selfishness. First, if we can see it, if we can identify that selfishness is, and then we can identify it, is it healthy or unhealthy?
See, as I was sitting here, Jack, thinking about, you know, Tommy and I's little thing, you know. I'm sitting here like, you know, obviously Tommy's got some sort of issue with me or whatnot based on some hearsay or false accusations. And I kind of feel bad about it that a man goes around and planting seeds of doubt in people's minds of my character. So I would somewhat like to extend an olive branch to possibly entertain Tommy's opinion of me, as long as he has a valid claim. I'm not going to entertain any feelers or emotions. I mean, you're going to have to bring some facts of why one may have to kneel to such authority. That's all. Because he seems to be a little diseased with me. There's a little toxicity there. And that I think that needs to come out on this straight as the gate and narrow is the way. Now, I mean, I know he talks about how they say he's a PDF or what, all of that other horseshit that he was talking about. But Fivespeed has never made those claims that maybe Tommy is, but yet Tommy is believing those accusations of others based on me. Doesn't seem to be any equal consideration or standards.
Tell you what, I appreciate you offered the, as I understood, you offered the opportunity to discuss and resolve. I think that would be good. What you were talking about toxicity, though, man, as you were talking about this, I see this from the chat from Bryce Beer. Talcott will pay the price for his fraudulent presentation of God's word. Allegedly, he's a religious scammer, and all you that follow him will pay the price along with him.
I don't follow you, but yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
Fair enough. Actually,
I don't follow anybody.
What price is that? Like $20?
I tell you what, Bryce Spear, I'll bet you. Because here's what I know. I've shared this, I think it was on Facebook or something, but those who follow me do so because they wish to lead. And those who join me do so because they want to see the destination for themselves. And the destination I see is success in this world, success being defined as positive influence. You know, I got the ambitious goal. I believe that I and we, those who join me, can be a part of influencing the end of wars and bringing forth new reforms for the purpose of a better future for everyone.
Tommy says, Jack, Tommy doesn't believe nor you nor I. He says he simply asked and they claimed attacked and gaslight.
Yeah. That's okay.
I mean, I don't understand where Tommy's coming up that I have to, when another man walks up to me and says, hey, I heard XYZ and you did this and you did that.
Right.
Bow to me,
Right.
motherfucker. Is it true or is
Right.
it not? Because I am a Lumatami, and
Isn't
you
that
will bow to me.
isn't that crazy?
It
They,
is.
we've
It's
got Tommy
insane.
and Paul and Snafu
It's
and many
insane.
others. Yes, it is. And yet it's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abnormal.
Yeah. Well, whenever I get that offer, I say, "What's in for me if I bow to you?" And then they don't answer the question. They don't give me a straight answer.
Hey, you know, guys,
You know, Hank.
hey, I don't mean to throw a wrench in there, but I do think it may be time to wrap up. It sounds like OTW's got some stuff going on. That may be fun. OTW music, hell of a talented man.
I
And
think
then Flo's got
somebody.
stuff.
I think somebody blocked me over on OTW. So, you know, if that's the game we got to play to be over there, I guess, you know, we can't be attending, you know.
Hey,
Yep.
I haven't been there for a while, so
And it may have happened when Paul and I had that little dispute when I just posed a simple question and I got the same kind of response that Tommy come up here with his accusations, you know, and then I'm like, well, fuck, who the fuck? I'm thinking to myself, well, who the fuck are you? And then finally I just told him, fuck you. And then I left. He said he didn't want me there. I granted him his wish and I ain't been back.
Yeah. Well,
So
he's watching us now because he's the center of the universe somehow, and
that's
we owe it
okay.
to him to give his audience entertainment. Fivespeed.
I get it.
Who's watching us?
I just don't want to be part of that bit bullshit.
hey, you're starting a robot and break up Fivespeed.
Sorry.
It's
I
all
might
right.
be
I think it
walking away
is.
from the Wi-Fi.
It's time to wrap it up, though. Please, final words from you folks. Thank you,
Jack, you have a nice day, and the whole panel as well. And thank you for having me on, Jack.
Tarek. Thank you. I appreciate you and your willingness to have conversations. You know, to at least talk about the things you see and the things you wonder. I appreciate you, and eventually,
Thank you.
I think we'll understand each other more too.
So on my way out, Tarek, before you go, I just want you to know, friend, I have no ill will intent against you. And I have nothing but holding each other to the same standards that I expect myself to be held to. So that's all.
Of course, yeah. Why would I? Yeah, why would anybody on the panel have any will intent against anybody? That shouldn't be.
And much love and many blessings around the chat. Maybe I'll see you at Wizards later.
All right.
Respect.
Later.
All right. Thank you, Fivespeed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tarek.
I got something. So my tarot cards are a bit non-bit tarot. If you have any issues, it's a bit non-bit. And the only way to be right in unslavery is to be literally Pussy Paul. If you're not him, you're wrong. And that was double for anyone in the peanut gallery.
Isn't that something? You went from the fool to the justice. Respect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate
The
you.
good
Hank.
thing is, you know, we don't have to be the victim of any of it. There's a little red X, and whenever I decide I want to leave, I can leave. So peace out. Thanks.
Respect, Mitchell. Thank you, brother. All right. All who joined the panel today, all who joined in the live stream, or you press play and you caught us at a later time, whatever platform it was, and maybe you're just hearing this on a restream. Who knows? Who knows, man? Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing your attention. Today, the topic, I think we covered it, and I think we did have some fun and healthy conversations. We're all people being people, growing into people. I mean, that's what life brings. And for those who are willing to join the panel and be themselves and be part of the conversations, I do appreciate it. This experience we're sharing of life. I'm sincere in what I offer, though, in these observations. Consider these things for yourselves. Look at the patterns of selfishness. and ask yourself, are they necessary? Is it really healthy to be divided, to be selfish, to enable selfishness, to enable corruption, to enable the oppression of other people, other nations? I don't think it is. I think, honestly, the way we are to live, well, it's happening. By God's grace, all of life is happening each day. And each day that we're living, I'm growing in confidence that there is a shift and a major change that's happening. We don't want to fight the change. We don't want to fight the good. We don't want to resist the opportunities to grow. Every day, life is bringing us the lessons and the opportunities to refine who we are. Life is a moral game. And the way to live with high morals and to have a clear mind, clear conscience, is to pay attention, to be good, think good. Faith is a big part of it, at least for me. And it's by God's grace that I found faith. And the thing is, if I could share my faith with you, I would. I hope you can take some faith and realize faith is a gift that's yours to receive. What do you have faith in? Have faith in the truth. Have faith in the truth that's beyond your mind, your awareness, because there's a greater truth that's beyond. In every perspective you can turn your mind, there's greater knowledge than what you've learned. So if you can have faith in the truth within yourself and the truth that may be found around you, and then mostly have faith in love, because love is that gift, who you are. And remember who you are with the love of God, because that love of God is who you are. It's just a matter of aligning yourself with it, trusting it, learning to know it a little better, a little differently than you used to. And if you can do that, brothers and sisters, enjoy your Friday night, Friday evening, and please join us again in the future. We'll see what the future brings. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all. Thank you.